whatever it is you do.
It's hard. It's not easy. Also, who's Saint Peter? I don't know who that is.
Oh, why?
I think they're on my friend list though. Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Why not?
Oh, did you ask him to come play?
Yeah, sure, why not? I have no idea who you are. That's what I'm going to type.
Well.
Hooray.
All right. I will be right back, so don't start a game.
Okay, I won't. I'm going to turn the sound volume off. All right, give me a second. Brandon, are you there? No?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, we'll just start a game. I'm already streaming, so whenever Josh is doing something.
I was going to say, did we get a hold of Josh?
Josh. Well, if not, what are you going to do?
Looks like it's just us then.
All right, where is it? Well, we can do the Facebooks. See if he's ready.
Yeah. You're like, hey, who wants to join us?
People always want Coop. Oh, yeah, I gotta use the web browser. So I'm recording this stream, and I'm also streaming it at the same time. So hopefully that will work out.
That's multitasking right there.
As, Josh.
Yeah.
Available. I have to ask. Josh. Okay, there we go.
Okay, let's do this.
Well, if it's not a traditional podcast, then it's a streamed podcast, which is interesting in and of itself, I'm sure.
A stream talking.
Yeah, stream talking.
Yeah.
A lot of streaming today on the
I saw it. You were all over the place. JRPGs,
then I played
to Fury. Now this. Man, I didn't even know you got a Star Ocean.
I got it months ago. I just popped it out of the shrink wrap.
Oh, really? Did you buy it like when it first came out?
I think I did.
I think the thing is now too is I think you can get that game pretty cheap on sale all the time now.
Is it like $30? Something like that?
Yeah, I don't think it did too well.
All right, I gotta change all the info and.
All right. Josh is busy at the moment. He might be able to join us, but
Oh, we gotta play.
yes.
We gotta play the game.
All right. Welcome to the Theology Gaming Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Zach.
I'm Brandon.
And we're playing Heroes of the Storm at the same time, so hopefully the conversation will actually be a conversation and not like just a jumble of thoughts.
Well, hey, I'm trying something new, semi-new.
Somebody's gonna cover that top lane. That's gonna be me.
I've only played this like the one other time besides this, and that was 9 months ago. And I think
9 months ago.
Yeah, 9 months ago. I think we played with Brandon.
Yeah. We play with Brian and we play with some other person, I think.
We played with Brandon Watts, I think it was, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so.
All right. I'm not going to be able to look at the Twitch chat, though, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to make do.
People and their stun locks. So, are you getting excited for Final Fantasy 15?
I am. I'm alternately horrified and excited.
I'm
not quite
geez.
sure yet.
Get out. You know, everything so far, people seem to be liking it.
Like, I'm just not 100% sold on it yet. And I want to say I'm going to like it, but I just don't know. Like, it seems like it's just the amalgamation of a bunch of ideas they've had for like 10 years, and they just kind of jammed it into a game because they had to have it finished.
Do you think it's the heightened expectation thing that might be getting you too?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if I'd say my expectations are heightened. More so, it's I don't know how the game's going to turn out. Because Hajime Tabata's previous games have been like, eh.
Well, I think it's interesting too. I think Brian shared this in the Facebook group about how the narrative really isn't told from like the normal Final Fantasy standard. Like it's more told through conversations with your party.
Yeah, which is unusual to say the least.
It seems like they still want to hop on that MMO type train.
Well, it does have online co-op now. That is weird. Like, how does that work?
But that's going to be DLC, so that's not going to be right away.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know like how far along that will be like later on.
It's like that is super
like is
unusual.
that late game DLC? Like, and how's it going to work?
That would be cool regardless, I think.
What do you think the themes are going to be of the game? You think it's going to be standard existential JRPG questions and
I would say
all that stuff?
Like friendship and road tripping. I mean,
yeah,
that's the impression I'm getting. I have no idea if that's accurate. What I've heard is that the latter half of the game is completely linear.
Yeah, I think they said in an interview it gets to a point where I think you like take a train ride or something like that, and after there it just pretty much gets linear. I think you can still go back, but in that like newer area, everything gets more streamlined because they really want you to focus on the story at that point.
Which is fine, as long as the story's good. I think I'm more worried about the whole action RPG thing, because as you might know, listener of the podcast, I am not exactly the biggest fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I've heard that's what a lot of people compare the combat to.
Yeah, which is like so iffy to me. I think the thing is Kingdom Hearts combat is mostly like press buttons a lot. I'm not sure if that's true on higher difficulties, and please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong with this, but like I don't want to like smash buttons and like, you know, not do much of anything. I want there to be like something engaging happening. Which is where I'm kind of at with Star Ocean right now.
It's like you're just waiting for something to happen.
I'm just kind of wailing on buttons. I'm waiting for like some interesting combat to happen, but so far I haven't really seen it yet, which is kind of disappointing. I've had one battle where people died, but like 7 party members, I have no idea what's going on half the time.
Oh, you have 7 party members in that game? Jeez.
Yeah. 7 party members all fighting at once in a very active setting. Like, it's super confusing.
Now, how would you compare that to the Tales games? Because they're kind of button mashy.
They can be, but there is a lot of nuance to the Tales combat. Like, it's consistent. Every Tales game I played, the combat may have changed in like subtle ways, but generally speaking, it's pretty consistent.
Well, oh geez.
In controlled, I guess controlled is more the like 7 people. What is happening?
I think the thing I like about the Tales series is the combat system can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be, and you can still succeed.
Yeah.
Like, you can sit there and think about how you want to string together attacks and be fine, or you could just sit there and be like, I want to do this, or now I want to do this, and not really have a method and still be fine.
I think it's JRPG difficulty in general is what's problematic, like, because they can be really like lackadaisical with how they design it. Like Tales games, not so much, because they have the adjustable difficulty level. Because I played most of Tales of Graces on hard or chaos, I think. And it was a pretty stiff challenge. Like, it actually required me to know elemental resistances, understand the game on a fundamental level. But
I know Graces, a lot of people, I think, like that combat system that they had in there.
Yeah, it's kind of the mix of the SP and the kind of the active attack thing. I don't remember what the specific names of these systems are, so forgive me if I don't know.
It's like the arts and the mystic arts and the regular attacks.
Like in Vesperio, is a lot of like SP spamming.
Yeah.
You just have like a huge mana meter and you just hit it a lot.
Yeah. You have your mana goes down, then you have to have your orange gels and all that good stuff.
Oh crap.
The one in Exilia was kind of fun because you know, the ability of linking up with people and how that worked out.
What is the Exilia one?
I forgot what they named it. Oh geez, he sucked me in. You link up with people.
I have not played it yet, and I feel like it's a shame because most people say it's like one of the better ones that came out recently.
I still like Vesperia, but Exilia's good. The second one, not so much.
Is the second one like weird?
I think just the way that they did the plot was just okay. It was really kind of weird on some points. They have a silent protagonist, which kind of really doesn't work. You get choices, but the person doesn't really talk at all. Oh, the lag.
the lag.
The lag. And there's also a system in it because you like have this huge loan taken out because you get like, you know, injured and you have a medical bill and it's like some ridiculous amount of money. And then the story is sometimes locked behind having to pay it back.
So what is this, the accountant's version of a Tales game?
Kind of, but it doesn't really take that much effort to get galled because you can just get galled and ridiculously crazy in that. But it's still just like, okay, I have to go do a couple quests because I can't advance until I do this. But the first one I really liked, especially I only played it through once, and you can play it through because you get a character choice at the beginning. You can either play as Mila or Jude, and it affects different cutscenes because you see it from different points of views. And then I think at one point or two, you split up and do different things. So
yeah, I mean, I heard it was good. I have no idea whether it is or not. That's, you know, but
I say it is. Like the first one's really good. I would check it out. I did not like it as much as Grace's, which is probably my second favorite one.
So you play Graces all the way through, right?
Yes.
Did you play like the epilogue story thing?
No, I need to. I started it, but I think I moved on to another Tales game by that point in
I
time.
think I did the same thing. It's pretty long. It's like a whole like addendum to the game.
I really did like the story in Graces, though.
I think all the stories are, it was like Tales is just so consistent, right?
Yeah.
All the games, I would say at least all the games are good. They may not be great, but like all of them are good. Good is the right way. Would you agree?
All the ones I've played, yes. I haven't beat many of them, but they are pretty consistent. You can see it's just like they do little changes and make them better, but there's none that's like really offensively bad.
None of them are offensively bad, at least as far as I would say. Even Zillia 2,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. The reason why I got into them in the first place was the art style, and it looked pretty much just like playing an anime. And Vesperia is one of the ones that's actually fully voiced act for the most part.
Yeah. Well, it does kind of deliver on the promise, right?
Yeah.
It's basically an anime game, like a whole series of an anime show.
Yeah. And it's really nice. I think I put like 60 hours into Vesperia.
That seems about right.
When I was done with the main quest.
I played it co-op, so.
Oh, nice.
You kind of they just sit there most of the time, so you fight a lot of battles if you want to play co-op.
Yeah, and some of the game-breaking bugs in that game is pretty funny. Like, if you look up how to really cheat and just use Rita, and she like spams like some water attack, like it's ridiculous because you can just sit there and stun lock enemies, and you can just keep spamming it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I like that Tales games feel controlled, I guess is what I want to say. I haven't played Zestiria yet with the open world thing, but I assume it feels pretty similar to the other games.
Yeah, well, Exilia kind of did that too.
Oh, it does the same thing?
Yeah, kind of. It's a little bit more open worldy. You can go. I'm trying to think now.
Because like you saw me playing Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness. Oh goodness, what a subtitle!
I did not actually get to watch it because you were streaming while I was at work today.
So if you watch it, right, it's you walk around on the map, you'll see enemies, and then once you start the fight, it immediately transitions to battle mode. There's like no screen transition whatsoever.
So kind of like Final Fantasy 12, right?
Yeah, but except this like transitions to like the traditional kind of Tales sort of fighting thing.
So it kind of just like zones off an area and then you just sit there and fight.
Oh no, there's no zoning. It's
oh really?
Yeah, it's weird. So sometimes you end up in weird spaces where the camera doesn't quite know what to do. It just goes insane because you're way too close to a wall or something. And then there's like you have 7 playable characters, so it gets a little nuts.
Interesting. Do you control all 7 or you just control one?
No, you just control the one. You can switch between them at any time. You can pause the game to use items or spells or whatever. So all that works out.
Sounds like something I might give a shot. Give it a shot. Never know.
Yeah, I would say get it really. It's really cheap though. At least that'd be my opinion.
It just, I don't know. I would probably get into that more than some of the Final Fantasies just because I have a hard time with turn-based games.
That's understandable.
I just have a hard time having them keep my attention.
I think the thing with the I just feel sometimes I'm not in control of Star Ocean. At least this Star Ocean. Like I played The Last Hope before this.
Yeah.
It felt like I was in control of the battle and I knew what was happening because the camera kind of gave you a wide angle view and you had 4 party members, right? You can like there's only so many things you can juggle real time, if you get what I'm saying.
Now, Last Hope, that was the one that was on PlayStation 3 and 360, right?
Yeah, that everyone hated for some reason.
Well, didn't they release a better version for one of the consoles where it was like the European version or it had more content and it was better?
The international version, the only real difference is that it has Japanese voiceover. Which is, and then, for me, I'm all for that. I really don't like listening to the English voices sometimes.
And then, what was the one before that, was that like Till the End of Time or whatever it was on PlayStation 2?
Yeah, that one also has a mixed critical reception. Some people absolutely love that game, and then other people are like, "Oh, it's the worst." But everyone agrees the second Star Ocean game is great.
That's unanimous.
That is pretty much unanimous. I don't think there's a single person I know who would say otherwise. All right, I'm gonna.
What does the plot deal with in that stuff? I know you said something earlier about like Star Trek.
It's basically Star
in
Trek.
space.
Like most of the time, you start out in a ancient civil. You're playing like a medieval civilization, right? You're playing
Yeah.
some guy, and then basically people from other planets visit, or people with advanced technology. You know how in Star Trek they're always worried about interacting with civilizations that don't have space travel or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but that's
Neither am I.
basically what happens in most of those games is that civilizations of higher technology start coming into a planet that has lower technology, and the implications of that. It's like it's kind of a traditional sci-fi story. It's interesting because it's a Japanese perspective on it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of JRPGs seem to just go over a lot of the same things. It takes people who are like the underdogs, the David and Goliath, existential questions, why we here, what is all this about, and
so that makes Star Ocean pretty unique in terms of JRPGs anyway.
So it doesn't really go through like that whole spiel that pretty much every other one does.
Yeah, like at the beginning of this game, I expected like the main character's home village to burn down, and then he has to go on a grand adventure but it didn't happen at all. Like, it's the weirdest paced first 5 hours of a JRPG I played in recent memory.
Interesting.
Like literally nobody was in danger. There was no danger. Everybody was like, "Oh, we're just gonna do this right now."
They're coming after me. So do you see yourself continuing to play it?
Yeah, but I'm not loving it, I guess is what I want to say. And I want to like it, but it's making it really hard. And the camera is terrible.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Well, if you get a chance, I would recommend Zestiria.
Yeah, I think I got a copy recently.
Oh, did you finally get one?
Yeah, I did.
Because I know it was on sale recently.
And well, I didn't get it on PC. I bought it on PS4 for pretty cheap, so I'll have to mess around with it.
It still works pretty good on PS4.
Yeah, that's 30 frames per second, but whatever.
The thing that I have to get used to in that, and it's really hard for me because sometimes the systems are kind of hard and convoluted, is I guess your level doesn't really matter in that game. It's more about your weapons and customizations. Oh, geez, get out of there.
Huh. Well, that sounds like kind of an MMO sort of.
Yeah. It's all about your like fusing of the weapons and all that crap. And sometimes the systems aren't the greatest.
All that crap.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Also,
that can seem about accurate.
Yeah. Sometimes taking a break doesn't really help.
Oh yeah, goodness. I started up the Star Ocean today. I didn't even know where the heck I was supposed to be going. Like seriously. I had no idea. I was so confused. Well, because it's all these like made up names of places, but they JRPGs really need a system where you start up the game and you know where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah, that's my problem with Chrono Trigger. I've started that so many times, but then I'll put it down and I'll boot it back up and I have no idea where to go.
Yeah, old games are like that. But I think the intention with Chrono Cross is to keep playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably should just beat it.
It's pretty short. It's like the shortest JRPG I've played, or one of them. Plus, it's a classic. Everybody loves it except me. I'm okay with it. It's not my
and it references the Bible.
Does it?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because everyone's talked about that, and I know you wrote like 3 articles about it.
Yeah, the game theorist, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
His videos are dumb.
Just gonna come right out and just say it.
Come out and say it. It's mostly baseless speculation and just like, who came up with this? But that's what gets the YouTube hits. People saying stuff like that.
Well, and to be honest with you, JRPGs were like pretty much reference every religion.
Yeah, incessantly, because they enjoy doing it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, it lends interesting things to it. I think Final Fantasy is
Oh,
probably the most
geez.
notable example, though.
Yeah, especially I think 10. 10's got a lot of religious things in it, obviously, because you got the church and you got, the main enemy is sin. So take that.
Of course, a lot of those are some kind of church is always the main problem. That's like a Japanese cultural thing, though.
Yeah.
The church is bad because reasons.
Well, and usually a lot of the times, too, if you go through these things, it's not necessarily the church. They usually come out as people that are corrupted.
Yeah, but it's hard to really make that distinction when you're talking about like Japanese games because they have this long history of Christian missionaries coming in and then Tokugawa's like, no more Christians, and then he's like, oh, you can just persecute them now.
Yeah. Well, geez, they're really dominating that middle. I'm going to try a different lane.
Yeah, try the top. Defend our fort or whatever.
But no, if you're interested in that kind of things, I would recommend the book Silence. I still haven't finished it yet, but
oh yeah, but what's that guy's his name's Endo?
Shinsaku? Yeah, Shinsaku Endo. Yeah. I can't really Google it right now, but
I think Martin Scorsese is supposed to make a film about this.
Like, it's pretty intense, but it's an interesting read the way that it does things. I don't know how much is based off true stories or not.
Yeah, probably a good deal of it.
I mean, and the fact that it was written by a Japanese Catholic.
It is based on a particular time period, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if the story itself's true, but
during the Christian persecutions and during their missionaries and stuff down there.
Yeah, because I'm pretty, because I'm trying to remember. The guy's name is like, he started a Christian rebellion. His name is Amakusa Shiro Tokusada or something. I remember him because he's a character in Samurai Showdown. He's evil, obviously, because Christians are evil.
Yeah, it's interesting though because it made me want to look up more information about that time of like when the Christian missionaries were like big over in the Orient and everything like that.
Yeah, it was a weird time. And they tried really hard. It was up until the shogunate, the Tokugawa shogunate, was in power. But that kind of lingering cultural heritage still is around. Like Japanese, because we're in America, right? We don't care about tradition all that much.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we don't have even that long of a history, like 200 years, somewhat.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Too many guys. Yeah, only 200 years. So, but they have like thousands and thousands of years of history, and changes their perspective a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I think when we look at these, their output of stuff, we have to take it with knowing that. Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to reflect our values.
Yeah, because it's not a Christian nation. It's like there's a lot more other things where history runs deeper.
Ooh,
and
that was burp.
and just the influences that they have, it's just. But the culture is really, really fun and interesting to look at and learn.
Dense. Which is where sometimes you're wondering, why is there a scantily clad woman in my party? And then you go, well, it's just Japan.
Yeah. They're they don't really place that big of a deal on it. It's
just kind of there. It's a lot of those games don't really emphasize it very much, which is the strangest. I mean, there are some that do, basically anything published by Nippon Ichi or Idea Factory.
Yeah.
But for the vast majority of them, it's like, oh, it's just kind of there.
Yeah, like people don't get offended by sex.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Of course, yeah, it's also should be said that like JRPGs and video games in general are niche products in Japan, so it may or may not reflect general cultural values. So just throwing that out there.
Well, and anime.
Yeah, anime.
Got the
like anime doesn't necessarily reflect like Japanese culture necessarily.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I died.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, I need to get out of there.
We're fighting the computer and we're still losing.
Well, they're all gang. Oh, geez.
Yeah, they gang up.
Yeah, no, they gang up a lot. I need to get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm surprised I got out.
Southern Temple. Sorry, podcast listeners. We're in the
yes. I have died a lot playing this game. Mostly, oh, geez, don't go out that way. Mostly because I suck,
go south.
But also because I'm talking. I'm just going to blame it on talking, even though that's probably not true.
Yeah, probably not.
But
it'll feel good. It's a good excuse.
Yeah, it's a good excuse. But I will just outrightly say that I still just suck at the game.
Yeah, games like Heroes of the Storm take a while to even figure out what you're doing.
Now, Zestiria I thought was interesting because they actually take religion and it's almost like the forefront of the game. Like it's a really big part of the game.
So comparatively speaking to other JRPGs, even that's kind of an accomplishment.
Well, even just by other Tales series, because you're a character who's called a shepherd, and there's all these churches in the land. You got to try to restore them because there's all this malevolence that's taking over the land, and you got to like purify like the areas and restore like the spirits who are over them. They actually call them seraphim in the game.
Huh. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, like like your character like grows up with the seraphim because he can see them and he's a human, which is kind of weird. That's why I can do it.
That's strange sounding.
Yeah. When I started playing, I was like, this is kind of weird. Because I wasn't expecting that from them.
Oh, well, does it go to the same place as other Tales games go? It just has a more interesting setting?
It goes there. I mean, it still has a lot of those same things, friendship, everyone's from different backgrounds.
Friendship is magic.
Yeah. Which is one thing I do like about those games is the taking of people from different backgrounds, but still striving towards a greater good.
Yeah, which is it's a cool theme. I mean, even other JRPGs really don't do it that great.
Yeah.
Tales is really, really consistent doing it over and over again.
Yeah. Which you think that's what we would all want to strive for in real life anyways. We want to respect everyone else and we all want to strive for a greater good.
Yeah, you'd think.
whatever that entails. And it's always got like the person who has different ideologies than you who ends up joining your party.
Yeah, or some long lost friend.
Yeah. Oh geez. He hits hard.
Hours ago.
Yeah. They're chasing me.
Yeah, they do that a lot in this game.
Okay. I got out though.
Got it.
Yeah, I haven't played JRPG in a while, so it just got me thinking here.
I started getting back into it. I had put Tales down for a long time because I got involved in other things like Dark Souls and stuff like that.
Yeah, Dark Souls, huh?
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's kind of a JRPG, but not really.
Well, it's an RPG made in Japan. I mean, I guess it's a JRPG if we want to go with that.
I guess it counts.
Man, I really like that series.
Yeah, man. From Software did a really good job, but I don't know. The formula's getting stale for me.
I still want to go back and play it though. I'm still ready to pick up the DLC.
Yeah, it feels substantially different playing it co-op though. I will say that much.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not like a difficult game when you're playing it co-op, but it becomes like more of an MMO.
It is fun. I'd like them to try to do that more and balance it.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. There are co-op areas in like Dark Souls 2 that are technically balanced, but not really. I mean, balance is really a strong word to describe them that way.
Yeah.
Let's see this. Oh crap! I took the wrong talent. Oh, well, that's what you get for talking, Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, guess we won.
Nice.
Hooray!
No, I still actually want to go through 2 and do the DLC for 2. And I still need to play 1.
Yeah, the DLC has specific co-op areas, which are terrible to play by yourself in just about every way you could possibly imagine.
Well, if you ever get back up to the DLC, let me know.
That would be like my 3rd time playing through Dark Souls 2. Oh, goodness.
You know, I can see myself tiring of the game, but I could always still see myself going back and playing it like every couple months and doing something and then putting it back down.
Yeah, I do like them. I gotta play different games, you know.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm happy. Like I'm done with it, and it felt like a weight off my shoulders, and I was able to move on to different things now.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this guy. I don't know what he plays like or anything, but I know I like him.
I was able to move on to happier games, so to speak.
Happier games, yeah, happier stuff.
Though I will say,
like Blaze.
Some people think Dark Souls is like, like an oppressive, like just dark game, when really it's not that bad.
It's a very happy game, at least in my opinion.
You know, for being a game called Dark Souls, they actually do outline people having hope a lot in that game.
Yeah, well, because that's part of the theme, right? And that's why the game is designed like it is the offer the hope of eventual victory.
Yeah. Also, I've been trying to think about it. We can just talk about it now. Like the lore in Dark Souls and trying to like study that is a lot like studying the Bible, I feel sometimes.
Dense.
It's dense and it wraps back around, and when stuff makes sense, it's like, wow, that makes so much more sense now.
Of course, it could just be that we're inserting meaning into something that doesn't actually have any.
Could.
Oh, goodness, I have no idea how to play this character. I don't even know what I'm playing with.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm just sitting there thinking, like, you know, like when you, I don't know how much happens to you now, but like you'll read the Bible and you'll do stuff and you'll do some studying, and then you'll find something else later on in a different passage that will relate back, and then it makes everything make more sense.
Could you say that again? I'm like trying to read this thing at the same time. I don't know what I'm doing.
You know, like when you're...
looks cool, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, are you the prancing one? No, that's not you. But, okay, where was I? Anyways, oh geez. Like when you're reading the Bible and you read a passage, say like in the Old Testament or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like later on in the New Testament, something's like explained or it makes more sense, or you read a commentary and you're like, oh, okay, I get this now. And it's like when you look at the lore in Dark Souls, you find like an item or whatever if you actually want to take the time to read it. And then you find something else later like, oh, okay, this makes more sense and I understand this more. That's kind of just like how it happens.
Yeah, I guess you could think of it that way.
That's happened with me like a lot over probably the past year, is just understanding things more. Be like, oh, this is what they're talking about in the Bible.
Yeah, well, it's you know, just like any learned activity, it takes a while to figure out what you're doing.
It does. Like, I think it started blowing my mind when they started talking about like false teachers and everything, and you know, you sit there and you want to put that in the perspective, like, okay, they're talking about like bad preachers, blah blah, and all stuff, and then it's like, well, back in these days, the Gnostics were a really bad issue in the churches of Israel.
Was it in the? Do they mention them in the New Testament?
They don't mention them, but that's like if you go look up like a lot of the commentaries about what was going on, like that was like a big issue. I guess back in the day, is the Gnostics were sitting in there like talking to them. I think because they were the ones who were saying like Jesus didn't come in the flesh and all that stuff.
Huh. Okay.
Don't quote me 100% on that.
Yeah, there's just so many Christian heresies, early ones. Well, heresies is now kind of a strong word, but in general.
Yeah. But it makes a lot of the New Testament even still make more sense when you hear things like that. It'd be like, okay, here's what was going on and what they were trying to warn against.
Whoa. Yeah, the interesting part to me is that Jesus is actually a Pharisee, and that confuses people a lot.
He was.
Yeah. Well, if you want to think of it that way, yes. He would, based on what he taught and believed, he would look like one. Because the distinction in the Bible between Pharisees and Sadducees is not actually told to the reader because it's assumed. So, like,
does it a lot of it have to deal with the resurrection?
Yes, Pharisees believe in the resurrection of the physical human body, and the Sadducees do not. So it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, that is a big difference. Is that why they preach a lot about the resurrection then in the New Testament then?
But of course, there are other problems with the Pharisaical teachings, which are, Jesus is always talking about. But that's the one he does agree with them on that.
Because which were the one, or was it both of them, who would stand out in the streets and do like all their vain prayers and everything like that, or was that just one of the groups?
No, that's Jewish people who are part of their Jewish religion in general. We're still doing that. So.
Here's a weird random theological question. I guess wouldn't really say theological.
Weird random question.
Well, no, just okay. Should you pray over your food in public, or is that kind of like just praying in public and drawing attention to yourself?
I would say it's the kind of drawing attention to yourself thing. Depends on like how open and public we're talking here.
Yeah. Hey, there you are.
Like if we're talking about like, let's all hold hands and then scream at the top of our lungs sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then then I would say probably too much. Probably too much. Man, what is this character? I don't understand this character.
Oops.
Yeah, 4-on-1. You can't win.
Yeah, Yeah, I was getting out of there. I was already low on health anyways when I was there, so.
Yeah, I don't think you can win that 4-on-1. It's not going to happen.
No, Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
Wonder what people think about public prayer then. Like when people come together for like big public prayer things.
It can be super awkward. I'll say that much. At least I find it super awkward.
But, what is that? What's going on up there?
Something important's happening.
Then it makes you wonder, because then, people's arguments, or I'm sure this might be people's arguments, I'm not saying everyone would say this, but that, you're afraid to like show your faith if you're not like willing to do stuff like that.
These
is that a bit
insane half the time? Like, what does that mean? Like, so a bunch of people will get to overhear you praying to a God they may or may not believe in, right? It's kind of awkward and inconsiderate. That's how I like to think of it.
Come on, people.
Maybe I'm incorrect about this, but that's the impression I get.
Huh. And everyone's open to their opinion, and we should respect that. We'll do this.
Pray in all in public. You don't have to make a scene of it, I guess.
Yeah. Because I think that was like the thing in the Bible, right? It's like, hey, don't draw attention yourselves.
Yeah, you don't have to. But Christians
Good.
would like to be the center of attention, right?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the scripture says about it, but it's like,
Well,
you just don't want to. Oh, geez,
well, it does say
they're
you should
they're loading in.
go into your closet and pray.
Yeah.
Of course, closet. I don't know if they mean closet or that was the original translation, but
Pretty much just go into a private place and pray.
yeah, I don't think the kind of place matters too much.
No. Go into your prayer room. Your war room. I can just hear my wife laughing in the other room because I made a Christian movie joke.
Christian movie joke. Oh yeah, War Room. I did not
Yeah.
see that. Look, 10 seconds after it would have been
Yeah.
relevant. That's okay.
Which I haven't seen.
No, I haven't either. Christian movies are.
Yeah, I have not seen any Christian movies like that. Except for The Passion. And they're making The Passion 2.
The Passion 2, I know. It's kind of the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You-
Why is there a sequel? He can
You
only
think they-
resurrect once.
I was going to say, you think you could come up with another name for it besides The Passion 2?
The Passion, well, brand naming, right?
Yeah. Now, I have a feeling it'll probably be good considering I really, I like the first one. I like the first one for what it was. I mean,
Yeah.
Those
It's a horrific death.
it is. But I think it helps put it into perspective a little bit because you can only, you can hear about it and you can visualize it. But when you actually see something played out, oh, geez, he's right there.
Yeah, of course, there is a lot of the weird, kind of Catholic Jesus things going on there, too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, like, Judas running around and then, like, Garden of Gethsemane, like, Satan appearing.
Oh, yeah.
There's some, like, really weird stuff in it. Oh, goodness, I'm just trying to run away and not die.
See, now I just need to watch. Oh, sometimes the characters don't load right when I want them to. See, now I just need to watch the Christian horror movie, The Remaining, which I found out my mother-in-law has seen.
Darn it.
That was kind of weird finding that out.
Did you think it was good?
No, she said it was scary. We were talking about how she didn't like horror movies, and she's like, "Yeah, that's
About the
scary."
Rapture?
Yeah, and the people left on Earth.
Okay. There are so many Rapture movies that just, like, it don't faze me no more.
I think it's done by a guy who's doing an Amityville horror movie right now too.
That is even weirder. Amityville horror. Horror movies not my thing.
Yeah,
How do you
I
make a
hear
horror
you.
movie about the resurrection though, or the
About the resurrection.
Yeah, no, not
The
the
Rapture?
resurrection. The Rapture, well, technically it is a bunch of resurrections.
Yeah.
But
Well, go and Google it or Wikipedia it, and then you'll be able to see what happens.
yeah.
Because
I'm gonna have to.
if you're not a horror movie fan, you probably won't watch it. Just gonna be my guess. Then again, I'm not a horror movie fan either. They scare me. They do their job.
They startle me. I don't like being startled.
Yeah. My wife's the same way. She talks about how horror's not really that big of a thing. She just doesn't like jump scares and she thinks they're cheap.
So she'd rather like true horror, like the existential implications of some horrific thing, like, I don't know, mind-body problem.
Kind of. I don't know. She doesn't really like the stuff anyways just because of gore, but let's think of a good example. Okay, some people consider like The Last of Us a horror movie or a horror game. Sorry, like a survival horror. I don't consider it. I consider it like more suspenseful, but she likes the way that that's done because it's not really all jump scare and just the way that it phrases everything. Instead of like saying like, playing Doom, oh, you're going to open up or you're going to get the shard here and something's going to jump out of this closet and attack you. Which is just cheap. No, don't suck me back in. Is there a healing thing? That's it. I'm hurting. I need to try not to die.
I just don't enjoy the experience of watching horror films. You just don't need that imagery in your head.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
No, I understand you. I think like the last real horror movie I watched. Now I'm trying to think. I know the Nightmare on Elm Street remake would be up there.
Why would you watch that? Then you go to sleep.
I went to watch it in the theaters with a couple of friends.
I'm sure they enjoyed it.
They did. I think they liked it. Me, not so much, because yeah, after watching that stuff, even though like it's not real, that's a scary thought.
Yeah. That's why I don't watch horror movies. It just doesn't work
Yeah.
for me.
That's one of the reasons why I don't play horror games.
Bally. Who's Bally? Oh, Bally.
Because
That's you.
Because
He's talking to you.
Who's talking to me?
The ABATHUR.
Join the others. Where's the other? It's up top.
Yeah, the ABATHUR guy.
Okay. See, tell him sorry for not paying attention. We're podcasting.
Very important.
Yeah.
Don't mess with us.
It's like, for some reason, I still want to really play The Evil Within. Just because it looks good. I hear it's good. It looks like Resident Evil 4 meets The Last of Us. But
my guy just one-shotted one of the enemy heroes. Holy crap.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's a skill shot, so I suppose it should be that powerful. Yeah, The Last of Us, I don't think is really a horror game, is it?
No. The Last of Us, no. I don't think so.
Kind of, sort of?
I just think it's more of like a suspense game.
A suspense game?
It's like a suspense movie. Like, it's just... I don't really consider it scary. I don't consider it horror. Now, The Evil Within, that's definitely a horror. Will I ever play it? I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence about it.
The Evil Within, I want to play it, but I just have a feeling I'm not going to enjoy it.
Well,
Shinji Mikami is...
yeah. If you don't like intenseness, like probably the whole game, then you're not going to want to play that.
Yeah.
And I heard the game's difficult. I think my friend, I can't remember the exact number, but he died a lot in that game.
Well, I like RE4 because it's like more camp than it is like horror.
So are you enjoying Resident Evil 4, or do you still kind of find it overwhelming at times?
No, I like it now. I mean, comparatively speaking, it's really cool now. Compared to like Evil Within or something.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, because I know you said that was like for a while like your scariest game that you've played. Because it was just so intense. You said.
Yeah, it was intense at one point in my life. But now it's like, after you get used to it, that's the thing. Like, games that are scary, quote unquote, mostly it comes down to like familiarity with what's happening to you. The more it can keep you on edge, the greater fear you will feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it's not really fear. Like in Resident Evil's case, it definitely was not. It's more like unfamiliarity with how the game actually plays.
Oh, that's why I can play Resident Evil, just because it is camp. It's like the realm of like fake reality that it's in is a lot different.
Yeah, like fake reality for sure.
Yeah. Like watch us play Resident Evil 5 and 6, and yeah, it's not scary at all, and it's just so absurd and funny.
Yeah, that's when they were doing the action movie thing. That's barely even what I'd consider to be like survival horror at all.
No. But like even going back now and playing like 1 and 2, like after seeing what's come out since then, like those games are just okay, here's a zombie. Ooh boy.
Ooh boy, zombies.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, the original Resident Evil is pretty good at it, but you know, a lot of the horror of that game comes more from the mechanics than it does from the actual survival horror things. So
Yeah.
would be traditionally considered survival horror.
Yeah. You're like, oh man, it's like playing with a controller on your butt because it just handles awful. But some people like tank controls.
Tank controls are cool. They're not bad. They're meant to solve a problem. They're not just there arbitrarily.
Tell you what, though, probably adding the quick turn was probably one of the better things that they did for the game, though.
Probably. Oh goodness, I'm so going to die right now. Bye, guys. Yeah, the quick turn probably helps, but I think in the original game, the quick turn probably is kind of a cheat.
Yeah, it'd probably be a overkill. It's like when they added first-person shooting to Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Yeah, it was like no, it doesn't work. Totally unbalances the game. It's not meant to be played that way.
But I still really like Twin Snakes. Because still a lot of fun.
Matrix cool cutscenes.
That was actually the first time I still haven't beat the original Metal Gear Solid.
What?
Just that one.
I'd almost recommend you like beat the Twin Snakes version.
I did beat the Twin Snakes version. I haven't beat like the original PlayStation one.
There are parts of the original PlayStation one that are terrible. So I don't know if they fixed all of them, but
yeah.
Like
I will.
One part where you're climbing a tower and you need like a certain number of grenades to make it by.
Yep. It's the tower with all the guns and everything like that.
Oh, man. Is it just as bad in Twin Snakes? It's because it's really bad.
It's still there.
Oh, it's bad.
But you can shoot them in first person and disable them.
See, like, that's okay, right? That's cool. I'm okay with that. But there are other parts of the game where you're not supposed to be aiming in first person, and that really screws the game up.
Yeah. Actually, if we want to like kind of take this a little bit further, I've actually never beat a Metal Gear Solid game with the original camera angles that they use. Oh man, I'm gonna get destroyed.
Snake Eater has a non-original camera angle.
Well, Snake Eater originally had the fixed camera angles and everything like that, and then they came out the Subsistence version, whichever it's called. I can't remember because Metal Gear Solid 2 had one where you could control the camera. It was like the first one to have, I think, like the third person controlled view.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean.
I guess that's not true. I beat 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, and that has the locked camera angles.
Metal Gear Solid
good job.
Yeah, all of Metal. There's no different version of MGS2. Other than Subsistence technically is different, but not really.
It gives you the VR stuff, I think, in it.
Yeah,
isn't that the biggest thing?
It doesn't really change the game itself very much.
Yeah. No, not like the third one. But when they changed the camera angle, like the third one, I wouldn't say it got like really, really easy, but it was still fun, and I thought it was probably for the better.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just the original MGS is a good game, but I'm not sure. Like, there are just parts of it that are really bad.
Yeah.
That's my.
Well, that game came out in what, 1998?
Yeah.
For the time, it was great though.
Yeah, it was.
I think I just remember just having problems with it because I was a little, like, I was maybe a teenager or close to it when I first played it. And that was kind of a hard game. Back then, I was like, okay, whatever. And I tried a couple times, and then even Twin Snakes I picked up before, and I put it down, and I had to pick it up again to actually get through it and realize, hey, I really like this game.
Which one is this again?
Twin Snakes.
Okay, Twin Snakes. Do you own Twin Snakes still?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I couldn't find a copy for anything that came close to a reasonable price, so that's why I don't have it.
Yep, I own. Once I got it because that was one of my favorite games.
What are your favorites? Still? Did you finish it?
Oh yeah, I've beat that game a couple times.
It's just weird to hear someone say they like the Twin Snakes so much.
There was one day, I think I was like, I wanted to do something, so I decided to play through Twin Snakes all in one day. So I did.
How long is it? Like It's like 6 to 8 hours sometimes.
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours, but I think I beat it in under 6.
Yeah.
I think. Just because, I already knew what to do, blah, blah, and all that stuff.
Blah, blah.
But, yeah, if you ever get a chance to get a copy, because have you played it?
I have not played Twin Snakes. It's like $30 on eBay. I'm just reluctant to buy it just to play like a slightly different version of the same game.
Yeah.
I played MGS, the original MGS, in like 2014, so.
Yeah.
I still thought it was good. So there you go. There's my recommendation. I gave it like a 4 out of 5. I have a pretty exhaustive review on Theology Gaming about it.
I just bought a copy again of the first Metal Gear Solid for like $8 earlier this year, so I plan on going through and playing it because I feel I should.
Well, it's fun to watch. It's fun to play. Even now. It's very arcadey, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that kind of breaks the game that, well, some people say, is you get a tranquilizer gun in that one in Twin Snakes.
Huh.
Because I don't think in the first one there's a tranquilizer gun.
Oh, yeah, there is no trank gun in the original.
Yeah, so you can get a trank gun.
Wow, that's like totally
from two. Oh, geez, they're all here.
The original game, it's a lot like the other Metal Gear games. Top-down perspective, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're all up here. I'm going to try a different lane. And I'm one of the weird people that actually like Metal Gear Solid for the craziness of the story and was sad with the direction that they took the game.
Did you play through MGS4?
Yeah.
So, really? Like you watched all the cutscenes?
Oh yeah. I took vacation from work when that game came out. I bought a new TV and I took a week off work to beat the game.
Well, you took a week off, so I suppose that's okay.
Yeah. I think this was a while ago, but this is what I want to remember. I think I went and I beat the game, and when I beat it, I actually had something to do, so I had to turn the game off because the last cutscene really is like almost an hour long.
Yeah, it goes on forever.
And then I had to come back and redo it. Yeah, but I had to be gone for like a couple hours. I think. It was like, I don't know what I was doing, but I came back and watched it again. Did you play through all of it?
No.
There's
I've played through MGS1 and MGS2 and MGS5. That's it.
You haven't played Snake Eater?
I started it and then I stopped, and then I have started MGS4 and then stopped. Eventually I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I'd say play through 3. 4 is really good. I really do like it. Even if it is just fan service and just story.
It is just endless fan service.
It is, especially like, I don't know if I should say anything because I don't really know how much is considered spoilers now on a like almost 10-year-old game.
Oh, you spoil it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, like when you go back to
just say MGS4 spoilers.
Yeah. MGS4 spoilers. Like when you go back to Shadow Moses, there's just something about it that's just.
Yeah, that part's pretty cool.
And the way that the boss battles actually mirror some of the boss battles throughout the series is fun too.
Oh yeah, a lot of them do.
Because you got one of the Beauty and the Beast core who's like almost Psycho Mantis like. Then you got the one who's like Sniper Wolf, and it's just so fun. I think there's one chapter though, which is a really interesting one. It's like Act 3, where I think you only play for like 20 minutes, and the rest is all cutscenes that you get to.
Yeah, there's not much. The thing about MGS4 is that there's like not much playing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of watching, which is unusual.
Which I was all for.
I could see why you could be for that, but as a game, it has like hatred of the player.
Yeah.
It doesn't want you to play it. It's like, no, stop playing me. I hate you.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unusual for a video game to do that.
It is. And then that's when everything changed. That's when the Fire Nation attacked and everything changed.
The Fire Nation?
Yeah, I had to go all Avatar on it. But I don't know. That was my problem with 5 is that it wasn't like that, because I do like the long cutscenes. I like I like the straight story, like the linearness, and then 5, is good. It's fun, but I'm not a big fan of the open world stuff.
I can't believe you don't like 5. 5 is like the most fun.
I'm not saying I just like I don't
duper fun.
like it. It's fun, and it's like the best plain Metal Gear Solid game, but it's not what I want from a Metal Gear Solid game.
Which is like craziness.
Yes.
I can understand it. It does get crazy. It just has a lot more political commentary on top of it, which is fine.
As a game, like say if it was just any game, we're not looking at the title, as a game, it is really fun and it succeeds really well at what it wants to do.
Yeah,
but as a
be interesting. It's like an interesting experiment. That's probably the best like open world game I've played.
Yeah.
Which is sort of sad.
Yeah. But as a Metal Gear Solid game, I rank it lower just because it's not what I want.
I think it's what Kojima wanted though.
Yes. I think that was my other issue is like I understand why people wanted to go like a more serious tone and have like all these like backgrounds and metas, like all that stuff. I get it, but I also just wanted crazy stuff that just made no sense.
You want crazy stuff
like that just like I didn't need it to be so serious.
Oh yeah, the Ground Zeroes part is really serious, but it's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
A lot of the rest of the game is pretty goofy.
Yeah, when I heard some of the stuff about Ground Zeroes, which I haven't played, I was like, why? Like, why did they have to do stuff like this or hint at some of these things?
Yeah, there was a big hoopla about that, but it ends up being a really small part of the entire game.
Yeah. Because I know when I heard that, I kind of like just shied away from it. I'm like, okay, I don't really need to play this. One, it's like a $30 demo, so I'm okay with that. We're not paying that right now.
Oh no, you should play it before you play the game proper though.
So
like it gives context, especially if you played Peace Walker, which is now really part of the Metal Gear game.
Yeah, I know what happens just because I read up enough about it and watched enough videos on it, and I know the part that I didn't really care for. Like the only reason you find out about that is at the end and like through weird video or audio logs that you don't have to listen to.
Yeah. No, you should though. It's just a different storytelling method. It's a lot more like listening to a radio drama while you're playing a video game, which is actually kind of cool because that's what I do when I'm playing Blizzard games sometimes. I just kind of like zone out and play the game and listen to like a podcast or something.
Some of those make you feel uncomfortable. Like pretty uncomfortable with what they're like in the video. As you're just randomly walking around the map doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're like listening to what's going on in the video log, and you're like, what the heck are they doing?
Oh yeah, no, it is. But a lot of it's more like just conversations, stuff you expect from the MGS dialogue you would expect is there. It's just it's hidden behind these audio dialogue things.
Yeah, it's mostly just the stuff with Paz and Chico and everything that get all kind of weird and. You might, if you have issues with some of those things, like you might just want to stay away from getting too deep into those.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of like weird things that are already in Metal Gear. Like I'll just note one. Was it like Hal and his like sister? It's like creepy things happening.
Well, yeah, because he had relations with her mother, and that was his dad's wife, and
like that's messed up.
Yeah. And I think his dad killed himself or someone killed himself. Yeah, it got pretty weird. And this is also coming from a game where they have someone who poops himself like every game. There's
a lot of weird things in Metal Gear, okay?
Yeah.
Like the fact that there's the bomb thing, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though that's there, it's I'm just not that offended by it, I guess. Mostly because it's told the same way by implication. It's not like shown to you on the screen.
It's not shown you. It's implied. I think it's even like it might be implied, but might not have actually been that way. But when I heard that, I was like, I'm like, where did this come from, and like, why did Metal Gear need to go this way?
Well, remember the main theme of MGS 5 is taboo. Remember when they had those theme words?
Oh, geez.
That was like, what is he talking about? Is that how stories are supposed to be told?
Yeah. Well, there's that, and the other big theme was revenge.
Yeah, revenge. It is a big theme.
Now, fine. I get the whole reason. I mean, I guess that would sound hypocritical, where I get it from a storytelling perspective of why you put all this bad stuff in there, because it helps.
There's got to be motivation, For
it helps establish like the bad guy, and it really makes you dislike the bad guy.
And then later, you actually kind of like the bad guy because he actually has a justifiable reason for not doing that. Yeah, it gets really your feelings about it get really complicated real quick.
Yeah. I like how there's implications to being like a bad person in the game, where the piece of shrapnel and Snake's head just grows if you keep doing bad stuff.
Oh yeah, I guess it does. You have to do a lot of bad things for that to happen, though. I definitely did not get there.
I mean, you can do some bad stuff, but if you punch your people on Mother Base, their morale goes up.
Well, they're training with the big boss.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if there's any other workplaces where if you walk around and you hit people, their morale goes up.
Probably not.
That's probably you're going into HR for stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, well, I will get back to it at some point, though. Yeah. The Mother Base stuff annoys me.
Yeah, well, if you didn't play Peace Walker, right?
I did.
Oh, you did? Yeah, it's basically the same game. It's just a more polished version.
Yeah. The thing that I don't like about the Mother Base is I don't like it being tied behind real time.
No, that's a reasonable criticism, I think. Well, because it makes you wait a couple hours for upgrades, but it assumes you're going to do more missions, so it's not like a huge deal.
Yeah. But I will get back to it now that I know it's not the Metal Gear game I wanted, and I can just go and play it from a game perspective. Like, I will probably enjoy it a little bit more now that my initial
feelings are
fixed. I just needed time to give it to breathe. I was liking the interactions with Quiet and everything.
Yeah,
I do like
not distracted by her outfit.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think I haven't gotten to the point in the story, but I think the reasonings are kind of weird. Like, that's just weird.
It has a lot to do with the main reasons why the things are even happening in the first place. So
yeah.
It's a very strange story.
But I think it does a good job of seeing like the way that she's treated and the things that she goes through. It makes you feel. Is it empathy? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I can't Google right now.
Yeah, I need to live.
Well, actually, I can Google right now because I'm waiting to respawn.
Oh, you'll be resurrected in 3, 2, 1.
Empathy. Okay, the ability to share feelings. Okay, yes. You can empathize with Quiet when you see like a lot of the things she goes through.
Yeah. Like, everybody has a horrible backstory. That's pretty much par for the course for this game.
Yeah.
Bad things happen to people. Ooh.
No, I'll say if you get a chance at any point in time, though, go and play 3, because 3 is fantastic.
I know, it's kind of the game I know I'm gonna enjoy the most, because the James Bond thing.
Oh yeah, it is the best James Bond story.
In a video.
That's right.
Probably the only good one that exists.
It is great.
Because James Bond games are like crap.
It also has
majority of them anyway.
Yeah. It also has one of the best female characters in video games, and the boss.
Oh yeah, the boss. Like, I know the whole plot of the MGS thing, so there's no real spoilers for me. But
Yeah.
But the games themselves are still worth playing.
And the fact that a lot of people in in 3 end up being like components later on in the series and how it links up, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Continuity. Even though I'm sure they broke it a lot.
All right. Well,
how long have we been podcasting?
Podcasting for about 75 minutes.
I was going to say, it seems like it's getting kind of long.
All right. I'm trying to think if we can play one more game or not. I'm not sure.
I might need to get off here because I have to go to work in the morning.
I'm just going to stop it right there then.
Yeah.
But this has been a fun time. Hooray!
Yeah. Heroes of the podcast.
Heroes of the podcast, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how everyone's going to react to this one, but hey, we tried something new.
Well, we needed a podcast too. It's been like a month and a half, or it just feels that way. Next time we'll be a little more coordinated. You know, things just go crazy. But
maybe next time we'll try playing a different game where not so heavily action based. Maybe see if we can get some interactions in there.
Something like Panzer Medals or something.
I got it. I can stream it. But
yeah, we could do that.
I actually we might have to monitor some things though.
Yeah, streaming in general.
Well,
and schedule things.
Well, I'm just talking about there's not really nudity in the game, but it can get kind of vulgar.
Oh no.
Well, there's a drill sergeant in there that pretty much is like the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
At some points. But everything else like really isn't that bad, but he'll say some things and
that are creepy.
Yeah. He'll toss out some F-bombs and everything like that every now and then.
Well, you know, I played Fury, and Fury had swear words in it too, so
yeah,
that's okay.
He did. Oh, what was it? He said something about the.
Yeah.
He said something religious or something like that, and the drill sergeant did, and I was like, well, "Did he just say that?" I'm like, "Okay, now I know. Now I know not to choose this option." But I think I was trying to date the German tank in that.
The German.
The German tank, is that the Panzer?
Yeah, the Panzer.
Yeah.
The Panzer.
I will say it's funny because they actually have so World War II tanks and everything. The different tanks actually have kind of grudges against each other.
That is weird.
It is weird, but it's ridiculously funny. And I don't know if it's as weird as dating pigeons, but it's up there.
Not as weird as dating pigeons, but up there.
Yeah. I mean, it is dating tanks. I don't even know how he did this past game. How did I do?
We're going to have to find a game that's probably more suitable to podcast purposes.
Yes. Podcast the game.
Yeah, something. I just got to think of what it would be.
You know, you didn't die all last game.
I didn't?
You do pretty... No.
I did pretty decent, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, considering I had no idea how to play the character at all.
Yeah.
He's fun, this alot guy, but I just don't know what I'm doing.
Huh. For some reason, I guess I did a lot of decent amount of siege damage.
Siege damage, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you're an assassin, you're supposed to kill enemy heroes.
Well, that's because they were too busy killing me.
Yeah. But, you know, it takes a lot of work to get used to playing this, so.
Yeah. So... anyways, what a fun podcast. I had fun.
All right. Well, this has been Theology Gaming Podcast. So shameless self-promotion. We don't really do theologygaming.com much anymore, so you should go to our Twitch page at twitch.tv/theologygaming. We stream pretty regularly now, don't we?
Yeah. People have been getting on there.
Assuming you heard this on the podcast end. Go to the Twitch thing. We stream a lot. Plus, there's archives of stuff we've streamed in the past.
Yeah. And right now, it's pretty much all just random streams. Yeah. We may streamline it in the future. We may just come out and be like, hey, we're going to play this. Yeah. But right now, it's just all random streams.
Yeah, and hopefully Brandon will stream more things.
What will I do?
Stream more things.
Uh-oh.
Stream enough.
No, I do need to stream more, and I will get back on that. I just need to find the right game to stream, one that doesn't have blocked cutscenes.
Yeah, and one where you can actually look at Twitch chat, which helps.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a dual monitor set up for Heroes, so I'm like flying blind here.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about maybe Fallout, but I'm not really sure. Dark Souls is always an easy one to stream. That is always really easy.
We'll have to think about this. Or you can send us suggestions on our Facebook group, which is Theology Gaming. Just call it Theology Gaming and join and talk about Christianity and video games and stuff. Because that's all we do. That's really all we do.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's a fun time.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah, fun times and TG.
Fun times. All right, well, this has been the Theology Game Podcast. Thank you, Brandon, for joining me, and hopefully we'll have more guests on next time.
Yeah,
maybe Josh will make it.
Yeah, maybe Josh.
Josh.
All right, we're tired.
All right, we're tired. Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye.